everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Happy birthday, Mr. Wood.
Thank you.
Weep, 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 weep. Oh.
Oh, yeah, we do have the noise. I totally forgot about that.
We do have the noise. Everybody, if you...
Bring the noise!
Oh, okay. Happy?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Everybody, if you would consider supporting this show, please go to patreon.com/dailyinternet. We go live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have stories that you want us to talk about, please send them to our Nope. Well, I guess you could. Whatever.
Yeah, you can send it to our Facebook. You could also send it to our subreddit. You can send it to our Twitter. You could also send it to our Instagram.
Yep, whatever. Just get it to us somehow in any way.
You can even fucking call in.
Yeah, whatever. Just figure it out. The contact information is in some form wherever you're looking at. Whether it's in the show notes, if you're downloading it, it's in the YouTube info below.
Stop all the illegal downloading.
All the what? What? What illegal?
It's a quote from what's it called? There's the old G.I. Joe PSAs. Someone dubbed over them with some fucking hilarious shit. Goddamn, one of them, just out randomly, this guy starts running, "Stop all the illegal downloading!"
Interesting.
Hilarious.
Quick note, everybody, we're going to be having a little bit of a shorter show. Our number one topic is back on net neutrality, and that's the only thing, really, that the internet cared about.
There are like 400 topics on the top 400.
Yeah, and basically the internet was like, net neutrality! I found 4 other things to talk about. So we're going to have a top 5, and basically, 1, because net neutrality is important, 2, because there wasn't much other news that the internet presented, and 3, it's Nathan's birthday, and he would like to go drink. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I bought this bottle of gin yesterday specifically for today.
Did you drink?
I don't plan on it surviving the night.
Good.
I'm gonna power drink it, fucking pregame, and then I'm going to go out to Center Bowl up the road. I'm going to bowl like 2 games while drinking there.
Good luck. Have fun, good sir. But first, let's go ahead and get through what news we do have. Nope.
5.
Ratko... What?
Yeah, close.
Yeah, it was close. Ratko Mladić, convicted of genocide and war crimes at UN tribunal. This
is submitted by Itubuls to our World News.
Do you recognize the name Ratko Mladić, Nathan?
Mladić? What is that? What does it mean when there's an accent mark above the C? Is it hard or soft?
Mladić? I don't know.
Ratko Mladić.
Either way, do you recognize the name?
No.
That's because the genocide and war crimes that he committed were 20 years ago.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Well, more than 20 years ago, actually. This is a Bosnian Serb commander, nicknamed the Butcher of Bosnia, that caused over 100,000 people to die. And basically, the trial went on for 4 years. It didn't even start because he was in hiding, essentially. But he was found back in 2011. And then the trial started 4 years ago, and they found him guilty on all but one account. One account he was acquitted for, which was the second charge of genocide. He was acquitted on because it was somebody else that actually made the call. He was just involved in it. But everything else, they're just like, yeah, you're a terrible person. Go to jail forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're getting the nickname, was it the Butcher of Bosnia?
Yep.
Yeah, you probably should be going to jail.
Well, and like, you know, there's always this like feel bad. He evaded authorities for like 16 years. They finally caught up to him in 2011, and now he's in jail. He's 75 now, though, so he's going to spend the last, 20 years he has just kind of hanging out in a cell?
If that. Yeah, I don't know if he's even got 20 years.
Now, the trial took 4 years because they had to present over 900 pieces of evidence.
Oh, my God.
And because he was overwhelmingly disruptive to the proceedings. They would often have to delay the proceedings because he would be, like, threatening the judge and stuff like that while they're trying to present evidence.
I mean, it's a legitimate strategy. Whether it's a good strategy or not is up in the air. But, I'm guessing it didn't serve him well.
No. Well, I mean, when you basically already know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
Like, when you're like, oh, well, there's no way that I'm not going to get in trouble here, so might as well just be as much of a pain as I can.
I'm surprised more people didn't do it. Like, I'm surprised Charles Manson didn't do it. I'm surprised, like, fucking, you know.
Some people have a little bit more dignity than that.
Yeah.
4.
A North Korean soldier who was shot 5 times while defecting to the South has regained consciousness.
This was submitted by Mania for Beatles to Uplifting News. Did you fucking hear about this? Like, or watch the video or anything?
Yeah, I was about to say, we actually have full video of this person's defection from North Korea. Like,
It's like an action movie.
well, and the reason that we have full video is the majority of, there's about 1,000 people a year that defect from North Korea. The majority of them try to defect through China. China's border isn't as difficult to get across. It's also a much larger border, so it's harder for them to monitor. The border between North Korea to South Korea, there is this massive stretch of land that is called the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone. It is no man's land that they both sides continuously stand there and stare at each other to make sure that neither side does anything they don't like. And it's not the place that people normally try and get across because, well, North Korean soldiers are watching it all the time, and it's heavily guarded and has walls and all of this stuff. Well, this soldier drives up to one of the first checkpoints on the North Korean side in a Jeep where you're supposed to pull over, just drives right through that, plows right past the second checkpoint, right past up to the door in which there's a whole bunch of things you can't drive through. So he gets out of his Jeep and just starts running. And at this point, North Korean soldiers have ran down chasing him, have opened fire with handguns, AK-47s. It is estimated that he was shot at over 40 times, hit 5 times, makes it 50 yards away from the South Korean post, collapses on the ground next to the wall.
Yeah, so, like, he just plowed through. He didn't even stop at the fucking, the portion where you're supposed to stop with the guard. And the guard just sat there, and he was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's there's, like, photographic footage of, like, the fucking North Korean soldiers standing around flabbergasted, not knowing really what to do. Like, one of them even put his gun down to fucking tie his shoe.
Well, and the heat cameras then see South Korean soldiers army crawling out to the guy and dragging him back over across their border.
Yeah, so his car, like, the wheel popped off close to the border. He fucking popped out and ran. It was crazy.
Well, and then they get him, he's been shot multiple times. They get him into intensive care. They get him to the doctors. The doctors immediately go into surgery to save this man's life. They find that he'd been shot 5 times, so they're trying to do surgery to get the bullets out.
Did you mention how long they had to wait for him with him out there?
No.
40 minutes.
That's a lot.
They had to make sure that he didn't have a bomb on him or anything.
Well, and then they discover something even worse, and that is the guy had an infestation of worms and was suffering massive liver failure and basically was just diseased.
Yeah.
And, like, they pulled massive worms out of this guy, and then the doctor that did the procedure was like, this is what they show you in medical books. That you're like, oh, there's a couple of little worms in here. No, this is those, like, oh my God cases.
You want to know something fucking just mind-boggling? You see North Korea have these kinds of, worms, and there's this article that talks about how North Korean women in the army just lose the ability to have periods because of all the stress and everything that they're going through.
Sure.
All of these unhealthy things happening in North Korea. South Korea is set to break the on-average record for the longest living people.
Good for them.
They are set to live, on average, 93 years.
That's impressive.
Japan is only like 83.
So they fix him up, and it looks like he's stable. Looks like he's going to make a full recovery. He regained consciousness and is now enjoying freedom in South Korea, watching TV and just healing.
I bet he's sitting in his bed just with a fucking spoonful of food. Just
probably.
Awesome.
Well, and from what they can figure out, like, with how bad off this guy was in his state of health, that basically, if he wouldn't have went when he did, he would have been dead in like a week. They're like, so it was basically like I'm going to try to make it. If I do, awesome. If not, well, I was going to die anyway.
Well, fuck.
So, I mean, he made it. He took 5 bullets and survived 5 bullets. I think you got some freedom for it. They have hung a South Korean flag in his hospital room to give him emboldenment, to remind him that he made it and that he is in a free and safe place now.
It's honestly baffling, the differences between North and South Korea. But also the similarities in some of their cultures. Yeah.
So, I'm good job.
Man, actually, I watched a this is a weird topic. I watched a documentary on the differences between chopstick styles of Japanese, Chinese, and Korean chopsticks.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So Japanese chopsticks are shorter and they have points on it, and that's because they eat their food very personal. They don't share their food, and they also eat a lot of fish. So the pointiness of the chopsticks are supposed to be used to pick out bones and everything.
Sure. Okay.
Chinese have longer chopsticks with just flat edges and everything. And that's because they tend to reach over and share from other people's bowls and other plates around the table.
Okay.
So they need the longer chopsticks. And then Koreans use only metal chopsticks, and they are flat chopsticks. And that's because of Korean barbecue, essentially.
Neat. We have, I believe, all of those types of chopsticks in our drawer.
That's awesome. That's a wide range of chopsticks.
Yeah. It's 'cause, as Jennifer said in the background, it's because she's awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
3.
A new study finds that patients who can legally treat themselves with medical cannabis stop using prescription opioids or use fewer opiates to care for chronic pain symptoms.
This is submitted by Xer to Our Science. This is not real news. This has been around for a while.
Right? I was like, you had to do a study for this? Because I feel like this is real obvious.
It's been known for a long time. People who are on heroin and everything, a lot of the times, if they've actually come off of heroin, it's because of the help of marijuana.
Well, and in regard to, I think
both medically and recreationally.
I think the reason for the study was to find how effective it is. Over 80% of people that were on opioids that then began to use medical marijuana drastically lowered the amount, and of that 80%, over 40% of the total number ended up completely using opioids altogether, even for chronic pain.
Damn. It really tells you something.
It does.
That's fucking insane. It amazes me how all of this news is coming forward that, we kind of already knew about how cannabis is not a demon thing.
It's the devil's lettuce.
People still demonize it like it's motherfucking the worst thing ever.
And it's purely because of the pharmaceutical industry.
Fucking bastards, I swear.
So, yay. People suck.
2.
Belgium says loot boxes are gambling, wants them banned in Europe.
This is submitted by Ram Tank to Our World News.
So we had talked previously about how Belgium was investigating whether they thought loot boxes were gambling, and they came out and were like, yeah, they're gambling.
I can absolutely agree with that.
So basically what it is because the argument against the fact that loot boxes are gambling was mostly because no matter what, you get something. It's not gambling if you can't lose. Just the difference in a loot box is sometimes you get the very bottom prize, sometimes you get the best prize. But no matter what...
that's like pull tabs.
Sometimes you don't get... There's some pull tabs that you
Scratch
just
cards.
Flat out lose.
Sure.
But so the idea is it's not gambling if you can't lose. And Belgium's like, it's close enough, okay?
I don't know. I feel like you still lose. If you have you open a box and you already have all of that stuff and you get the fucking gold,
And Belgium's like, it's not good practice regardless, because you are preying on people to try and get what the good prize is out of the box. It's the same as gambling. You just give them shit-ass consolation prizes.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
still chasing the jackpot.
It's even worse sometimes. They're not just chasing the jackpot. They're still chasing the fucking dragon. It's fucking addictive, cracking packs.
It is. And what's nice is Belgium is going to be looking at trying to ban it in Europe, which is one piece China already put in a requirement that if you sell things that have chance in them, even if it's a guaranteed chance to get something, you have to display the numbers of the chance to get each thing.
There's ways around that. That's how I think it was Overwatch got around it. You don't buy the things that have chance. Instead, you buy gems, and then they give you the thing with chance.
Exactly. So, but Belgium wants to get rid of all loot boxes in Europe, and now the state of Hawaii is going to be looking at doing something similar, and if it goes through, then who knows? They're going to be specifically looking at the predatory practices of Electronic Arts and other similar companies. So, basically, all of them.
That was submitted by Tizen Zebek 22 to R Gaming.
Because it is. It's gambling, and it preys on young people. I mean, it preys on everybody, but young people particularly are the ones that are most likely to be gotten by this.
Mm-hmm. Chadwick in the chat says he wants the new Tracer skin. I can agree with that. I'm a Torb fan myself, but
I haven't seen it. What does it
there's
look like?
There's gonna be an ass load of new skins because of, I think it was Worlds.
What does it look like?
Just fucking look it up.
I'm working on it, okay? Tracer's like the only thing that I play, so I don't know.
Oh no, you're a one tricker. You'll get banned.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. Is it the Modella's agent with the little with the little hat and the glasses? I don't know. Whatever.
Good.
Anyway,
I actually haven't played Overwatch in a long time.
Me neither.
I completely missed the Halloween event. I didn't get my Halloween loot box.
I'm over it.
Yeah, same.
One.
I'm kind of sad though. Like that Zen skin was fire.
Protect net neutrality. Save the internet.
It was submitted by Root Sue to RIMA.
And like 700 other subreddits.
Yeah.
Part of me considered putting all of them in there, and then I got over that real fast.
No, you know how fucking crazy this is? I was opening my goddamn Reddit and it opens up to my pages and everything. The top one was about net neutrality, and it was from the goddamn My Hero Academia subreddit.
Dude, our Final Fantasy, one of the places that I go all the time, that had it in there. Crappy Design had it. They're like, you want to know what's really crappy design? Letting Comcast control your internet. Save net neutrality.
Everyone, it's literally every single subreddit has had something said about it.
Well, I mean, Reddit's the front page of the internet, and that's the thing that gets hurt the most by net neutrality being lost is the internet, because that's what it's all about. I mean, and what was even better is, like, it's not even just an American thing because of how vast and wide the internet is. That, like, our Europe was like, yes, call America and tell them no.
Yo, that's what's up.
Because
that's probably the coolest thing that they could do.
Well, because Great Britain had talked about something very similar in the previous years, and they shut it down, and they're like, America, no, bad.
I don't know. We've been making some pretty bad decisions as of lately.
Yeah, I know, but let's try and avoid making a really bad one. So, real quick recap, what net neutrality is. It is a protection for you as a consumer. It means that your internet service provider cannot be choosy on the internet that they provide. They have to provide the same speed to every website, no matter what it is and where you go. Because what that means is that if this is revoked, if it is repealed, if they take it away, Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, GCI, whoever you have, they then have the power to make your access to one website slower or not be able to access it at all if they don't like it. They also have the option to make you pay for access to individual websites and services. If you play video games, you want connection to Steam? Well, we block connection to Steam server unless you pay us an extra $15 a month. What's that? You want to access social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter? Oh, well, that is part of our social media package, and that costs $20 a month. Oh, you want to access video streaming services, like even like YouTube or Netflix? Well, those are actually so large that they're on separate packages, so we're going to need $6 a month for YouTube and $9 a month for Netflix, and that's before you pay for your Netflix subscription. They have the power to do that. And if they don't like somebody with the rules that are being removed, they would be able to just not... If you're on Comcast and Comcast doesn't like someone, they can just not allow you to access that website, period.
Don't fucking trust them. They can be like, oh no, we're not going to flex that muscle. They're going to flex that muscle.
If they don't flex it today, they'll flex it tomorrow. Like, because that's how businesses work. They're dicks, they're assholes, and that's what they do. So it's a big deal because even if you're like, well, I don't do that much on the internet, it will still affect you.
Yeah, no, it'll affect literally everyone.
And the reason that I said that, like, Europe is getting involved and other countries are concerned about it is because it can prevent the ability for people to access websites that are based in America, because those websites are American websites. And, like, for instance, those massive internet cables that go across the ocean on the ocean floor, those are owned by people. And if GCI said, or Comcast says, you know, we don't like this website, so no one's allowed to access it through our lines, but they're in the middle of our network, so nobody can access it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Chadwick says, I usually stand on the more conservative side of things. For this issue, I just want more competition. I hate most internet providers, and this does nothing to help either of those. I'd prefer if it were treated as a utility. And that's what they were pushing for. It was labeled as a Title II, which made it something that was you had the right to be provided. And that will be removed. It'll be moved down to a Title I, so it's no longer something that you are entitled to as a human being. And so the problem with that is that it screws everybody across the world. Except for, you know, like if you're not here and you have a website that isn't here. But so much of the internet is here because of Silicon Valley. Amazon's here, Google's here, and Google owns how much of the friggin' internet? Most porn industries, and porn is a huge portion of the internet. Again, mostly in America. Like, there's so much of the internet that is controlled by such a few amount of people, and considering the amount of power that internet service providers have, it's just...
Yes, Chadwick, the tubes. RedTube, YouPorn, Pornhub, PornTube.
And that's where the problem comes in and why it's a big deal. So what can you do? Well, one, Congress can step in. Congress has the ability to institute the rules that the FCC removes. So you can call your congressman and you can say, you know, XYZ, I don't like this, I don't trust this, I don't think this is a good idea. Because chairman of the FCC, Ajit Pai, his argument for
it a dickhead.
Is that we didn't have...
More like a shit pie.
We didn't have these rules before. They should be fine not having them today. One, the game is different today. But two, he said that if a company does do those bad practices, the market will sort itself out. Because people will just stop using that service.
Absolutely not.
When you only have one option, because, like me, I only have GCI. The majority of people on the West Coast only have Comcast. East Coast only have AT&T. There's a small little sliver there that has Verizon. And if you have more than one option, it's normally because those two people are both available. AT&T and Comcast. Which one would you like? And they're both playing the same game. They're on the same side. They will both screw you. They'll do a train on you. So there is no idea of the market will sort itself out. And if they can stifle this the way that they want to, they can stifle any competition. Because it'd be like, oh, I'm building an internet provider. I'm going to be someone to compete with Comcast. I got my website set up, and Comcast said nobody can get to that from our stuff. And then, in addition, the way that most of those things work is that because the infrastructure is already set up, if you create a service, you reach an agreement with the people that own that infrastructure, so like Comcast, and Comcast has said, no, we don't want you because you're our competition. And they can do that with these rules removed.
Mm-hmm. It literally becomes a monopoly for literally anyone who is already there.
It becomes a monopoly owned by 4 companies.
Yeah.
Like, it's really what happens. Like,
because they've spread themselves apart.
Yeah.
Some bullshit, I tell you that.
The other thing that we can look towards is that with this removal, the SEC removes its power over the internet entirely, and it goes over to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, which is normally in place to protect consumers and prevent, bad practice. It would just mean that there's going to be a bad time, and we don't know what the fallout from it would be.
And we would have to hope the FTC can actually help us.
So, net neutrality is important because it allows the internet to be the free, open thing that it is. If you want to contact your congressman, you're not sure how, there's two ways. You can go to callmycongress.com, and you put in your address, it'll get you their contact
Not
info.
if you want to. When you contact your congressman.
When you contact your congressman. Also, you can go to battleforthenet.com. There's a link to that in the show notes, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. There's a link to the show notes. If you've downloaded it, there's a link in the show notes. If you just click on the show description, go there and contact the people, because that's what they're there for. They're supposed to represent you and your feelings towards these things, and that's the best we got. So,
yeah,
it's important, and the internet really thinks it's important because the internet's the thing that'll die. So,
yeah, you really don't want that, guys. The internet's for everything.
Well, and like we were close to having it be a utility, like Chadwick mentioned. He'd like to see it be a utility. We were close to that, and if it is a utility, an actual full-blown utility, which at this point it is, because the internet is imperative to everyone's lives, then it gets regulated by the government on price even. So you would see the price go down, because Comcast makes, what was it, like $6 billion a month in profit? A month?
A month. That's some horse shit.
Billion!
For shitty service that, they don't deserve.
But they can't afford to put in fiber.
No, absolutely not. That's too expensive.
Stupid.
What? We're going to block whatever you guys try to put in.
Yep.
Especially fiber.
It's rude. Hey, Nathan.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
What'd you care about in the last 24 hours?
That we now have a month for when Season 3 of My Hero Academia is going to come out.
Didn't they also announce a date for the next season of Attack on Titan?
I think. I don't care about that one as much.
Sure. Are you excited, Nathan?
I very much am, because it's going to encompass the school trip arc, and that introduces some of my favorite fucking characters, like Twice and Dabby.
Cool.
Dabby. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because it's actually really interesting. Season 1 came out in April of 2016. Season 2 came out in April 2017. It looks like we're getting Season 3 in April of 2018.
Neat.
So I hope soon it'll become serialized, because I really hate waiting in this off season.
How far along is the manga?
The manga, you can at least get through Season 4 already.
Okay. So, I mean, that's probably why it's, staggered.
I suppose so.
So.
But I don't know, Naruto became serialized.
Naruto had a lot of money.
That's true. I feel like My Hero Academia is set up to be the next Naruto.
Maybe. I don't know.
If not something better.
The thing I cared about in the last 24 hours is actually what's happening in the next 96 hours, and that's that I don't go to work for the next 4 days, which is friggin' awesome.
Fucking asshole! I have to work for 4 hours on Friday.
Sucks to suck, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Also, just another reminder, everybody, we won't have a show tomorrow. Everybody, enjoy your Thanksgiving. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. That way we can begin our Thanksgiving weekends and enjoy it and all that good stuff. Nathan can get on with his birthday.
I don't know if I want to drink before or after I work out. Or during. Ooh.
That sounds like a horrible idea. Like, before and during sounds bad. Don't do that. All right, everybody. We're going to go and get out of here. If you would consider supporting this show, patreon.com/dailyinternet. Share and like us on all forms of social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of those are at iReaditCast. Download the show to go on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, and 5-star reviews help us immensely on there so that people can find and discover the show on their own. Of course, if you would like to submit stories, subreddit, our iReaditCast, or send us an email, feedback.ireadit@gmail.com, or send us stuff wherever you feel like you can get it to us. That is your 388th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody,
Don't get eliminated!
have a good day, everyone.
Bye.